All right, so there's been a ton happening lately, guys. We got King Charles and Trump. So President Trump met with King Charles at the White House, and King Charles later spoke to Congress and said political violence is never the answer. He stated such acts of violence will never succeed after the recent shooting involving Trump. And also, the White House posted a picture of Trump and the king together and said two kings. I thought that was hilarious. Then we got James Comey, the former FBI director, who was indicted by a federal grand jury for making threats against President Trump related to the 2025 social media post, and he faces serious charges where there was an arrest warrant issued. Then we got Mr. Nick Shirley, who made a viral video exposing Minnesota daycare centers, including the Quality Learning Center, that were allegedly receiving millions of taxpayer dollars, but not taking care of any kids. So they got raided and they've been shut down.
And it's actually 22 centers that have been shut down.
Dang.
22. That is a shit ton. Imagine how much money they were getting.
Oh, millions.
Millions, hundreds
Remember
of millions.
they were taking it through the airport, all to Somalia. Speaking of Somalia, we got Ilhan Omar, who had to disclose her finances, and it showed her net worth as high as $30 million. Then she later revised it and blamed it on an accounting error, claiming her actual net worth is much lower, around $18,000 to $95,000.
You know what's crazy? She can't prove it. They've been asking her to prove it.
She's refusing.
From $30 million to $18,000 to $95,000.
If it's false, you have the information. Prove it.
The disparity is crazy. And this is the absolute biggest one. So we got the Supreme Court, which recently issued a new opinions and rulings, including decisions on the federal versus state power and other cases.
All right, guys. So if you guys didn't know, a lot of states have been trying to redraw their voting map districts to basically give their side more power. And the Supreme Court basically ruled today that Louisiana's congressional voting map, which created a majority black voting district, was unconstitutional and a racial gerrymandering. And they basically shut it down. And a lot of people are upset. And then that opens the door for Republicans and Southern legislators to redraw more maps before the 2026 midterms, which has dismantled the black voting districts, and most of them areas have Democrats in power. So a lot of people are saying that this is racist. They're upset, and yeah, it's just not going in their favor. But Florida also just got their voting maps redrawn, giving Florida more Republican power as well.
Damn, so it is a possibility that the Republicans can gain 12 seats from this.
Oof.
The Democrats are fucked. I'm sorry. I don't want to cuss, but that's straight up. They're just fucked.
So basically with these new maps, you can't vote off of race anymore, it seems like.
Who wanted that?
We took race out of it.
And then the Democrats will cry, everything is racist. Okay, so let's take DEI out of everything.
Take race out of it.
Let's take out the race in the vote in the districts. That's racist.
Because the Democrats aren't getting what they want, the black vote.
Wow, this is
They're trying to replace the
huge.
black vote anyway with illegal immigrants.
That is true.
They're saying that these districts and the way they were drawn before, it gave minorities a voice. If we all know what black people are gonna vote for. Somebody like Jasmine Crockett. That's not right, bro. Everything should be drawn to where it's just fair. Like, I feel like almost like how America is. Like, when you vote in a whole, like, America can't just elect the president off white people or black people. It has to be off everybody. So it should be like that for a state. That's literally the dumbest argument ever.
Pretty basic. I mean, that's why the Supreme Court outruled that.
So we're gonna say the Supreme Court's racist? Actually, people are actually saying that. So we all know Barack is upset.
Also, side note, did y'all know Barack Obama was the first president to say that America is not a Christian country?
Damn, he was the first. I know he said that.
The first president to ever say that. All the even Democrat presidents from back in the day never said that. He's the first one to ever say that.
So it's weakening, he's saying that it's weakening the power of racial minorities. And yep, we know that we're gonna say that.
Blame racism.
But it's like when we look at Al Green's Mo City, Houston, Texas, what's going on over there, that doesn't look too nice over there. We look at Jasmine, look at AOC, we look at all these people, these Democrats, they get elected and look at their districts, they got crazy shit going on over there.
Crime rates through the roof.
They're not helping, and guess what they're doing? They're going to Congress and they're getting rich. That's all they're really doing. They're getting elected and getting rich because they're not helping their districts.
They're not.
So another cop-out Obama, man.
The precedent of this decision will impact other states.
As redistricting fights across the country aim to reshape the midterm playing field, the Supreme Court has issued a decision that could send states scrambling to redraw maps in a move seen favorable to Republicans and one that has the potential to impact somewhere in the neighborhood of roughly 20 current congressional districts.
Was he considered a win for who?
A win for Republicans.
I love it.
The 6-3 opinion finds Louisiana erred in drawing a second predominantly black district, which it had done in response to earlier litigation challenging its map at the time. Justice Alito, writing for the majority, quote, "No compelling interest justified the state's use of race in creating SB 8. That map is an unconstitutional gerrymander, and its use would violate the plaintiff's constitutional rights.
Well, let's stop segregational voting.
If you just think about it, right, if you take a step back and you just dumb it down, we're gonna draw a district map and put all people from one race in that map. That's the definition of racism.
Well, they did it. They drew the area to be majority blue in majority black areas, basically because they know how those people vote.
Exactly. They're pawns.
They said this can flip 19 seats in the South.
Woo!
Yeah.
Go ahead, chalk it up now.
19 seats.
When you think about home protection, you need to consider all the elements. That includes darkness. How do you protect your home when the sun goes down? Enter Raven. These night vision goggles use the same kind of technology trusted by the military operators all over the world and are now finally available to the public.
They're not your dad's night vision goggles. They're military grade clarity, lightweight durability, no grainy green blur, and no flickering. Just sharp, reliable visibility when your eyes can't do the job alone. Whether you're checking your property at night, tracking game, or just want the peace of mind that comes from actually seeing what's out there, Raven flips night into day.
Right now, they're 90% off for our audience. So if you want the ability to see what others can't, head to mcgtech.com/Raven or scan the QR code to grab yours before they're gone. That's mcgtech.com/Raven for 90% off. Raven Night Vision, on the night.
Could be at risk all throughout the South. The question will be the timing. Is this a 2028 play? Is this a 2026 play? There are some primaries here coming up, not until later in the cycle. August 6th, there's one in Tennessee. That's Steve Cohen's seat. That's a minority district. That's in August 6th. It won the one Democratic seat there. The Jim Clyburn seat in South Carolina, that is the Democratic seat in South Carolina. That's a June 9th primary. Jamie, this shows you the ramifications long term for this ruling.
Absolutely. Just think about that number, 19 seats in play. And let's look at this politically. Laura, you talked about confusion going into this race. We're worried about voter suppression. Apart from the long-term impact, we are going to see people take advantage of that confusion. There is going to be, these midterms are so high stakes that anybody who thinks they can take advantage, on the state level of this decision, there is going to be a scramble to see if they can, because each side thinks this is an existential midterm with the House especially.
Yeah,
they are cooked.
Go ahead and elect whoever is the Republican candidate right now for the next presidency.
I mean, we all American or what? That identity politics shit isn't gonna work anymore. We're not doing that. Oh, black people will get this vote. No, bruh. If we're all American, we're all American. That's what black people want, right?
Equality.
Well, that was a huge win. But this James Comey situation right here, the James Comey situation is getting crazy. He's actually arrested. Like, he's in handcuffs right now.
Well, Comey is in the courtroom, and the hearing is starting now. The very first appearance of this former FBI director accused of threatening the president's life with that post on Instagram a year ago with seashells in the sand. This is the first hearing that will happen in this courthouse, the Eastern District of Virginia. But this is a case that's charged in North Carolina, because that's where that beach photo was taken. This first appearance, Comey now being under arrest in the courtroom. He's going to be before.
Today, we discussed the most recent federal indictment of former FBI Director James Comey related to an Instagram post of seashells, an Instagram post that he deleted the very next day and apologized for. Do you think Comey's post rises to the level of a criminal threat against the life of the president and supports an indictment?
I do. I'll explain why. After Comey's post, and this is where I go back to Saturday's events, the responsibility of certain individuals like us. We all have a very big voice. He is a former FBI director. He knows what 8647 meant. There's no question about it. He actually went on TV later.
What do you think 86 means?
To kill the president, to get rid of the president. That's what it means. By the way, his words, not mine. If you look at his late night show.
But the dictionary disagrees with you on that.
Well, he's the FBI director.
They use it in restaurants. Do they mean to kill any?
You don't think
what are they?
Let me tell you. Let me just tell you what happened after James Comey's post. A gentleman posted that about me. He posted on Twitter 86 Haba, and he was also charged. He was charged in Florida, and he was held accountable because you cannot do it. Now, this is an FBI director. We have responsibilities. You guys have responsibilities not to call the president certain things or say things that could incite violence. I most certainly think after Saturday, I have a completely new perspective.
Then he said, oh, my wife thought it was an address. Yeah, all right, buddy.
All right.
So Nick Shirley, man, the guy, a 22-year-old young man, just got 22 centers, fake centers, closed.
Future president right here.
That is huge, and that is absolutely crazy, guys.
It is officially National Leering Day. The Leering Center has officially been raided, and play the clip.
Now, large-scale raids targeting federal fraud currently underway. Federal agents seen leaving the Quality Learning Center.
Take a look at this video here. Sources tell Fox that federal agents are raiding about 22 businesses across Minneapolis this morning. And sources say many of them are tied to Somali-owned operations. All of this comes after that viral YouTube video from Nick Shirley. It was back in December. In that video, he visited different child care centers. And you'll remember they were either closed or there were just no children inside, despite receiving state child care funding. Now, the location that you're looking at right now, it's the Quality Learning Center. This is the daycare. It went viral. It blew up on social media because of a sign outside with learning that was literally misspelled. Looks like we got a statement from DHS sharing, quote, Homeland Security investigations in cooperation with our law enforcement partners executed criminal search warrants in Minneapolis relating to the rampant fraud of U.S. taxpayers' dollars.
So there you have it. Over 20 businesses were raided by the FBI and HSI today because of fraud that took place. They had 20.
Man,
because of you.
Shout out you, Nick. Man.
22 child care centers have been shut down and raided, and not a single parent has complained about not having anywhere to send their children.
Because they weren't there in the first place. Shout out Nick Shirley, man. I'll vote for Nick Shirley to be a president one day.
Crazy, crazy stuff, y'all. Imagine what's going on in California. That's why we're putting out the act. Guys, this is why we have to stop, and I'm glad King Charles said it.
They tried to come out with the Nick Shirley Act.
I'm glad King Charles said it because it's like Nick Shirley's life is in danger right now. Think about that. And if we keep allowing people like James Comey and all these Democrats to keep calling for political violence and not saying anything about it, guys, think about it. We had Teslas being blown up. People forgot. People were stopping people in Teslas.
Bruh.
Guys, it was so much going on.
See,
so much happened.
That's the difference between the right and the left. The left has this Marxism ideology to where the right just thinks, okay, and we disagree, and that's that. The left thinks, y'all are evil people that need to be eliminated. That's why they take up violence. The right does not take to violence.
Well, I think they're evil, but I ain't gonna go violence because I mean.
But you're not gonna. Yeah,
I'm a Christian man.
No, I do think that it's evil as well. But we're not gonna resort to violence. They're just like, they're just dumb.
And it's not that serious.
It is that serious.
I mean, it is that serious. Our tax dollars.
But we can't. We just vote and spread the word instead of going and trying to eliminate the people.
We should hurt this person. Man, Nick Shirley, man, he's a go. I forgot he did find 108 people registered to vote in one home too. No, he went on a spree that we don't even know. Like we didn't watch. He went on a spree like the last 2 months. He was going crazy. That's why they came out with the act. He actually went to Washington D.C. and was asking people about why did they make the Nick Shirley Act? And he went to the people that literally put out the Nick Shirley Act. He went to the people that made the Nick Shirley Act and said, why did you do it? And they like Democrats do. They literally told him, oh, I didn't do it. I don't know anything about that. And he literally pulled up their name, the person, and the photo. And they said, no, yeah, we don't know anything to do with that.
They scary.
And they were like really upset with him. It was getting crazy, guys. And we all know Ilhan Omar. She has to come out with that, guys, or she has to be deported. Honestly, she would have to be deported and go be the president of Somalia if she do not come out with the net worth. Because
do they even have democracy?
I don't know.
Who knows what they got going on in freaking Somalia?
This is how we get. This is how this is how she has some Somalians feel it in America.
Somalis brought more than just built they didn't just build the economy, but we contribute to the soul of this great state. And I want to remind you that no human is illegal, ever. You are not illegal. Yeah. Our neighbors are not illegal.
State capital.
And yeah, Thank you. So, Minister.
How do people like this get on microphones? She can't even articulate what she was trying to say.
World War 11.
I'm the captain now.
That's all we need to see. World War 11.
She didn't understand Roman numerals. That's why somebody made a post that make her read the Rocky movies out loud.
And if someone, a literal king, has to come over here and tell y'all, I thought y'all was against no kings. I thought y'all didn't want no kings.
As you can see, the No Kings crowd is standing up giving him a round of applause.
He told y'all, political violence is not the answer. And we know who he was speaking to. And they got up, I don't know if they clapped for that, but they were clapping for him. And they only won power, guys. And it's getting sad. But they're finna lose power. Shout out the Supreme Court.
We'll see.
Yo, there they are. It's over. It's over. I promise you. Like, once they get to voting, it's done. You see why Barack said that? He said the only way we gonna win is if we go to the polls in high numbers. He said the only way we'll continue to mobilize this situation and keep the Democrat Party alive is if y'all go to the voting polls in record numbers.
But y'all can't, because a lot of y'all is felons.
All right, but no, but they just idiots. And they're not, I don't know, guys. It's getting crazy out here, though, man. A lot just happened. But we're going to see what happens. We're out of here, guys.